Alrighty, Broncos Nation. Zach Wilson's in the mix, adding fire to our QB game. With spicy additions across the board, 2024 is going to be one wild ride in the Mile High City. Javonte Williams leading, with McLaughlin turning heads. Receivers, adaptation's the name of the game, but we're stacked. Tight ends, Trautman's solid and fresh talents on the radar. O-line's beefed up and D-line's gritty. But hold on to your hats, because 2024 is just getting started in the Mile High City. Go Broncos!
All right, folks, listen up. The Broncos are gearing up for some action on Thursday night with the 2024 NFL Draft kicking off in Detroit. But before we dive into all that excitement, let's take a quick peek at where our roster stands after all the hullabaloo of free agency. You know, the season's just around the corner, and boy, oh boy, has our lineup seen some changes since last year. But fear not, Broncos faithful, 'cause we're always on the move, making those strategic plays to keep the fire burning. All right, let's break it down, starting with the big guns. Quarterback. Now, our QB lineup's looking pretty interesting. We've got Ben DiNucci, Jarrett Stidham, and now, fresh off the press, Zach Wilson. Yeah, you heard me right, Wilson's joining the squad after a nifty little trade deal during draft week. Stidham got a taste of action in the last couple of games last season, and Coach Sean Payton's been singing his praises, saying we're still high on his potential. Payton even hinted that Stidham might be in the running for the starting gig. But hey, before we got Wilson in the mix, Payton was dropping hints left and right about needing to draft a QB, as long as it's the right fit for our Broncos crew. We're diving deep into the squad's lineup for the upcoming season, so grab a brew and settle in. First up, let's hit the ground running with the running backs. Ain't much change there, bro. We're still rocking with Javonte Williams leading the charge. Dude racked up 774 yards on the ground last season, solid stuff. Then there's Samaj Perine, holding it down and making plays, especially in those clutch moments. And let's not forget about McLaughlin, the undrafted rookie who's been turning heads with his hustle. Dude's got serious potential, putting up 570 scrimmage yards with a sweet 5.3 yards per touch. Oh, and we brought back Mike Burton at fullback, keeping that backfield squad tight. Now, onto the receivers. We had a bit of a shake-up with Jerry Jeudy bouncing to the Browns, but no worries, we're adapting. Payton's hyped about Marvin Mims Jr., seeing him as a real playmaker ready to step up. And we're adding more firepower with Josh Reynolds joining the crew. This dude was making waves with the Lions, hauling in 40 catches for over 600 yards and 5 TDs. Plus, we've still got Courtland Sutton doing his thing, putting up double-digit touchdowns. And watch out for Tim Patrick making his comeback after a couple of injury-hit seasons. Brandon Johnson and Lil Jordan Humphrey are back too, bringing that extra depth to the receiving game. First up, let's hit the tight end spot. You know, where the magic happens when it comes to those crucial catches. Denver's holding on to Adam Trautman, their go-to guy, with a sweet 2-year deal. Trautman pulled in 22 catches last season, racking up 204 yards and 3 touchdowns. And let's not forget Lucas Kroll, who stepped up big time with 8 grabs for 95 yards and a TD in the final stretch. We're also eyeing Greg Dulcich, hoping he bounces back strong from those injury setbacks. Unfortunately, we had to bid farewell to Chris Manhertz, but hey, it's all part of the game. Now, let's talk offensive line. The big guys up front who paved the way for those epic plays. 4 out of 5 starters from last year are sticking around: Garrett Bowles, Ben Powers, Quinn Meinerz, and Mike McGlinchey. We did lose Lloyd Cushenberry III in free agency, but we're placing our bets on Luke Wattenberg and Alex Forsyth to step up their game. Plus, we made some solid additions to beef up the line, snagging Sam Mustipher, Matt Peart, and Calvin Throckmorton in free agency. Switching gears to the defensive line. You know, where the real grit and grind happens. Broncos ain't messing around here either. We're stacking up with some serious talent. Rashard Lawrence, Malcolm Roach, and Angelo Blackson are the new faces in town. Roach has got a rep for shutting down the run game, which is exactly what we need. Zach Allen's back after a solid season, ranking 3rd in sacks. And let's not forget about DJ Jones, bringing the heat up front. Sure, we said goodbye to Mike Purcell and Jonathan Harris, but we're confident in our new blood. Alright folks, let's dive into some Denver Broncos chatter, especially about those linebackers holding down the fort. So, Josey Jewell took off to greener pastures in free agency, leaving a bit of a hole in our lineup. But fear not, because we snagged Cody Barton on a sweet one-year deal. This dude's no stranger to the game, being a former third-round pick and all. Last season with the Commanders, he was a tackling machine, racking up a whopping 121 tackles. That's the kind of hustle we need in the Mile High City. Now, Alex Singleton is back in the mix, ready to lay down some serious hits in that front seven. And keep an eye out for Jonas Griffith, coming back from injury. Remember his impact back in 2022? Yeah, he's aiming to bring that same energy. And shout out to Justin Strnad for sticking around. His special teams game is crucial for us. But wait, there's more on the linebacker menu. Our outside crew is looking pretty solid too. We got Nick Bonitto, Baron Browning, Jonathan Cooper, Thomas Income, and Ronnie Perkins all geared up to wreck some offensive schemes. Sanders might even switch it up and join this crew from the inside linebacker slot. Cooper was a beast last season, leading the squad with 8.5 sacks. And let's not sleep on Bonitto, who had a breakout year with 8 takedowns of QBs. Browning did his thing too, snagging 4.5 sacks in just 10 games. Now, our GM, Peyton, ain't sitting on his hands either. He's keeping an eye out for any hidden gems out there. Edge rushers and cornerbacks are like gold dust, but if there's a gem to be found, you bet we'll pounce on it. So, stay tuned, Broncos country. We're cooking up something fierce for the upcoming season. First up, let's talk cornerbacks. Denver's been shuffling the deck lately, snagging Levi Wallace, the seasoned cornerback, and giving Pat Surtain-Tu's rookie contract a 5th-year extension. Before locking in Wallace, Peyton mentioned how they're digging Jaquan McMillion's moves in the nickel spot. Plus, they're eyeing Riley Moss, Damari Mathis, and Tremon Smith for the cornerback slot opposite Surtain. Now on to safety. Big changes in the safety squad this year as Justin Simmons takes a hike after 8 seasons repping the orange and blue. But fear not, Broncos faithful, cause they scooped up Brandon Jones from the Dolphins on a sweet 3-year deal. PJ Locke's back in the mix too, along with Caden Stearns, who's aiming for a comeback season after getting sidelined in Week 1 last year. Keep an eye on JL Skinner too, could be a breakout year for him. And special teams, can't forget M. Broncos locked down Burton and Strnad, but the real kicker, pun intended, was keeping Will Lutz on board. Dude's got a leg of gold, nailing 30 of 34 kicks last season and snagging AFC Special Teams Player of the Month honors in November. With the new kickoff rule in play, having Mims as a returner's gonna be a game changer. So, Broncos Nation, buckle up, cause it's gonna be one heck of a ride in 2024. Keep those eyes peeled for more Denver Broncos news, cause you know we'll be keeping you in the loop every step of the way. Check it out, folks. Big news out of Denver. The Broncos just snagged themselves QB Zach Wilson from the Jets. Yeah, you heard me right. Before the 2024 NFL Draft even kicks off, Denver's already beefing up their quarterback room. So, here's the lowdown. Denver traded a 6th-round pick in 2024, number 203, to the Jets for Zach Wilson, the former 2nd overall pick, along with a 7th-round pick, number 256, in the same draft. That's the deal, straight from the horse's mouth, announced by the team on Tuesday. Now, let's talk about Wilson. This dude was the Jets' top pick back in 2021, and he's been holding it down as their starter for 3 seasons straight. Hailing from BYU, he's racked up over 6,000 passing yards, thrown 23 touchdowns, but also got nabbed 25 times with interceptions. That's Wilson's stats for you, completing about 57% of his passes throughout his career. This move's got Denver buzzing, no doubt about it. Broncos fans, brace yourselves for some serious action with Wilson in the mix. We got some hot news straight out of the Mile High City. So, get this, after doing his thing with the Jets in 2021 and part of 2022, Wilson got shoved back into the starting lineup in 2023 after Aaron Rodgers went down in Week 1. And let me tell ya, Wilson was on fire, posting career-best completion percentage and passer rating in his last season in the Big Apple. But before he rocked the green and white, Wilson was tearing it up with the Cougars in 2020, boosting his draft stock big time. Dude was slinging it with a 73.5% completion rate, tossing for 3,692 yards, 33 touchdowns, and only 3 picks in his final college season. Now, our GM George Paton was straight up honest back in March, saying the Broncos were scoping out both the free agent and trade markets for QBs. And guess what? They found their guy in Wilson. That's right, Denver Broncos got their man. So, Wilson's joining the crew with Jarrett Stidham and Ben DiNucci holding it down as QBs on the Broncos roster. It's gonna be lit, y'all. Stay tuned for more Denver Broncos news 2024, 'cause we ain't stopping with just this. Go Broncos!